Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Top 5 PvP Battles series. We are on episode 24. If you guys are interested in submitting your own clips for top 5s, you guys can send them in to KristoferESO at hotmail.com. So starting off at number 5, we have got animation canceling on the Stamina Nightblade. He puts huge burst into this first player there, but a big save from the Earth Gore just to keep that player from dying, and a massive punish from the group there. Animation canceling, getting a really clutch cloak into his heal, and retreating down the side of the hill as the lot of yellow pour off this hill behind him, and he's just going to do a good job kiting it out here. He takes a nasty stun from the Sork's rune cage, but just manages to get around the corner in stealth, and look at Annie's resources here. He goes in between the rocks here, and he's just so low on resource, goes for the fear, the light attack, the in-cap, huge damage on that guy to bring him down. The potion chug and animation canceling is right back in it, putting pressure on this guy in the back. Massive combo, yet again, such a clean cancel to bring that guy down. And look at this, 4 AD players chasing the single player here, and animation canceling is just coming up behind them and picking them off one at a time. Look at that damage, oh my lord, just shredding through these guys like butter. And the poor guy still chasing the EP player, completely unaware that all of his group members have already been killed, and down he goes as well. What a fantastic fight. And coming in at number 4 this week, we have Madilyes on his Magicka Nightblade. He's actually on a 600 CP Nightblade, so he's a little bit of a stat disadvantage, but nonetheless, he's going to pick a fight with this blue group here. And here you can see he's just trying to lure them over, goes for the bow combo on this guy into the Swallow Soul. Nice big damage there, trying to go in for the kill. However, he's getting a little bit of pepper from behind, takes the stun from the enemy Nightblade, goes for his Resto ult to just tank out the incoming Zon and damage, gets the cloak off there, the shade behind, back into the cloak again, and Madilyes is safe. He's going to reset his shade and re-engage with this group from behind, just poking him with his fire staff here, trying to find the opportunity to go for a combo here. And here he sees, he dots this guy up, goes for the fear, goes for the Swallow Soul there. Unfortunately, he quickly gets turned and burned by the enemy group, takes the enemy meteor, shades away right after eating the meteor back into stealth, and look at that nice snappy finish to bring that blue player down that he had dotted up before. And Madilyes is just going to start to work on the next player here. He puts the dots down on this guy, goes for the fear, goes into the Swallow Soul, the in-cap massive combo to bring him down, and now he's got just 2 blue players left, and Madilyes is just tanking it out with his damage shields here, goes for a potion switch as well, and he just dots this guy up, goes for the fire staff knockback into the fear. Madilyes just applying pressure to this guy. He's not breaking the stun, but he's getting healed by the friendly player there. And Madilyes is just forced to back off because he's taking quite a bit of pressure from this 5-star as another blue player comes rolling in, and Madilyes wants to finish his kill here. There we see the Swallow Soul. He wants to finish him off. He actually dodged Madilyes' attack there, but the poke at the end is enough to bring the blue player down, and Madilyes is just going to do his best to kite these guys out. Massive damage from that opposing in-cap there. Really great call, going into the shield and the stealth, defending himself, and then quickly putting pressure right back on this 5-star player there. Does a great job dodging the incoming fire staff knockback, and he's just going to go for the immobilize, go for the fear, and there we see the bow as well. Madilyes trying to capitalize on the kill on the enemy magblade there, goes into his Resto ult. He's got that crit damage bonus, another fear, and down goes the 5-star magblade, and Madilyes has got the last player left to deal with here. The enemy goes into stealth, and Madilyes counters with his own stealth, sets down his shade, and then goes for the Resto heavy to pull back a little bit of Magicka. He doesn't complete the heavy and just goes right into the offensive combo, and the fear into in-cap. Down he goes. Some great magblade stuff. So coming in at number 3 this week, we have got Nirnstorm on his Magicka Warden in a duo with a Magicka Dragon Knight here. And as you can see, they open the bomb on the side of this blue group here, and they already quickly kill off 3 blue players, and more blue start pouring up the hill, and Nirnstorm and his friendly player are just going to continue to apply pressure to these guys, cycling his heals here, taking a little bit of damage from that enemy sniper, but Nirnstorm just making sure to keep his defenses up, dodging that incoming gank as well, and the enemy Nightblade from behind line, goes for the spin to win. Nirnstorm's quickly going to turn on him, bring him down. Never start with spin to win when your opponent is full health. And there we see they're going for the combination damage on this other Nightblade here, putting a lot of damage in, but the Nightblade manages to squirrel away as Nirnstorm and the DK are just going to continue to heal themselves up. But now the blue are still coming back, and they want to get the reses off on the dead players here. Nirnstorm goes to prevent the first res there, and he's just going to continue to cycle his buffs as he gets hit by a nasty knockback from that Nightblade. He's going to take a lot of damage from an incoming gank as well. Nirnstorm doing a great job in his ultimate here, just tanking it out, holding this group still and stunning them. And there we see a fantastic stun from his staff as well. Trying to, his friendly player tries to capitalize on the kill. However, we see the Earthgore come down just as Nirnstorm tries to get the kill there as well. The blue group taking quite a lot of damage, but look at how much arrow damage Nirnstorm is taking. The friendly Dragon Knight, of course, having the reflect, is going to have a much easier time dealing with all those snipers, and Nirnstorm's just going to have to do his best. Massive turnaround on that blue player there. Oh my gosh, quickly bringing him down with the deep fissure combo, and Nirnstorm's just going to continue to kite around here as more and more blue show up, and they really don't want to get hit by all these arrows, so Nirnstorm just hugging the rocks here as the friendly DK does the same just behind him, and they're just pulling this group around, continuing to spread these guys out and keep them split up, and of course kite that arrow fire. Nirnstorm gets an opportunity now to turn on some low health players here. He goes into his ultimate. There we see the deep fissure come down. One player goes down. The friendly leap on top of the stack. Another enemy player goes down. Nirnstorm goes for the pressure as well. Inside the Earthgore, they bring a third blue player down, and look at his health bar. Oh my lord, he's so close to getting taken down from all these snipers. Nirnstorm tanking it out with his shields, his block, his roll, and his heal, and then they turn right back to the stack. Gotta prevent these blue, and they already got one guy back up. So many blue here trying to prevent these two players from taking them down, and Nirnstorm's just going to continue to fight in the stack here. His friendly DK doing such a great job. He smacks the group with that big leap. Nirnstorm wants to finish with the deep fissure, but he takes a nasty fossilize, and look at that gank damage. Oh my gosh, Nirnstorm going right into his shields and his heals here, just doing his best to tank out all this incoming Nightblade damage, and he's just going to continue to kite around the side here, go into his ultimate again, and he's going to stop this res. Goes for the kill on the rezzing player, however, he's unable to capitalize on the kill, but the entire group here is just really low HP. They finish off that Templar that was going for the res, and Nirnstorm and the DK are just continuing to apply pressure to the lower health. A big leap from the DK and the deep fissure. Down goes that player. They go for the pressure on the archer here. Massive damage into that guy, almost bringing him down, but he just manages to slither away. The DK also putting pressure, and Nirnstorm comes back around to apply the pressure as well, but the enemy Templars just throwing a lot of heals down on these Nightblades, and Nirnstorm taking a really nasty gank. Look at his hit points. Oh my gosh, he's below 10%. Such a massive smack, but he does a great job with his block, responding with his shields and heals, and he turns right away as soon as he can to put some pressure on these guys. He does not want the bodies to get up. The DK, of course, continuing to open field tank with that reflect, doing a great job applying pressure. Nirnstorm bringing the werewolf down there. A nice big smack, a huge smack on this other blue player here, and now they've got just what looks like two blue players left, a warden, a Magicka warden healer it looks like, and another archer, and Nirnstorm and the DK are just focusing on this healer to bring him down. He's just continuing to pound his shields. He goes into his ultimate. Nirnstorm's just going to continue to apply the pressure with the DK. They have to bring the healer down, and down he goes. A yellow player comes in as the archer gets the res off on the werewolf, but Nirnstorm and his friend quickly turn and kill those guys, and they kill the poor AD that wandered in. Great fight, guys. Alright guys, so number 2 this week, we have got ESecretSelf on the Stamina Templar, and just look at that. He goes right into the back of the blue group, drops the Dawnbreaker, absolutely no Fs given, and then just retreats right away as the entire blue group turns around and chases him around the corner, and ESecretSelf goes for a great dot up on this guy, goes into his second dot up on the low health player, gets him with the jabs, repent the body as he falls down, and then go into his heals. There's a lot of blue players kind of kiting around here, and ESecretSelf gets a great smack off with another Dawnbreaker there, almost bringing down both the Nightblades, and he's just going to continue to hug the side of the hill here so he doesn't take too much range damage. And the Nightblade's a little hesitant to re-engage with Secret after taking such a big Dawnbreaker there, and Secret's just going to continue to hug the rocks and kite and kind of slide down the edge of this hill here, just not wanting to take too much fall damage, and he's waiting for these guys to come. There we see in first person, the first Nightblade drops down, Secret hits him with the Pottle, goes into the Javelin, and then starts jabbing away. This guy does not break the stun. He quickly goes down and dies, and then Secret's going to reopen on this guy. We see the power of the light into the Dawnbreaker. The opposing player does a great job blocking the Dawnbreaker and counters with his own stun, forcing Secret to just reset his buffs and go back behind the tree here. And he wants to Pottle this Warden here, accidentally goes for the bear as he takes a lot of pressure there, and he's just going to continue to reset his vigor here and re-heal himself, throw his rune down for the sustain, the heavy attack, trying to get a little bit more sustain back. He dots this guy up with the dual wield dot into the power of the light, into the jabs, bringing down that player there, and Secret's got this Nightblade right on his tail. He resets his healing buffs here, goes for the Pottle, tries to get the Nightblade, ends up hitting the wrong player, splashes the Dawnbreaker. The Nightblade somehow does not get hit by it, so Secret just goes into the jabs, continuing to apply a bit of AoE pressure to them, and he's going to re-dot on the Warden here as the Warden's very low HP, and Secret goes into the jabs, finishing him off, and gets the double repentance from the dead body and the dead pet as well, and Secret's just going to take a pretty bad stun there, nasty stun from behind. He manages to quickly heal it away before the Nightblade can put some pressure on him, and then dots this guy up into the Dawnbreaker, taking yet again a nasty stun from that draining shot, but he does manage to finish off that player there with the jabs, and Secret's just going to continue to sit on this tree here and continue to work this group, just getting sniped from behind. Oh my gosh, over and over. Secret goes for the power of the light into the dot there. The Nightblade just blocking the attacks, goes for the res right in front of him. Oh my gosh, the wrong call. Secret quickly bashing the res, finishing him off, and now he turns his attention to the last opponent remaining. He takes the draining shot stun and just continues to apply pressure to this Nightblade. There we see the Dawnbreaker. The Nightblade blocks the Dawnbreaker, but it is not enough. He's stuck in the jabs, and down he goes. Love seeing that Stamina Templar rocking it. And finally, guys, for the #1 slot this week, we have the one, the only zDan on his legendary no stealth Magicka Nightblade. And look at this gameplay right off the bat, taking a lot of pressure from a large yellow group here. And zDan's just pounding the heals, pounding the shields, keeping himself alive, goes for the resto ult, and that shade gameplay, of course. There's the shade right back, and the nasty Dragonite pull, pulling him through the terrain. Oh my lord, but zDan is not phased. He's actually going to try to go for some pressure on the player here, but unfortunately he's just taking a lot of damage as all the yellow converge on him, and zDan's going to go for a little bit of a kite to the side here. He set the shade down, taking the Soul Assault, continuing to heal it away with his shields and the Nightblade heal as well. He goes for the shade after he gets immobilized, doing a great job just rotating around this group, making them move, and oh my gosh, a super nasty stun there. zDan taking so much damage, responds with his resto ult into his shields and his heal, manages to survive, and a great fear there just to put a little bit more of a split on the group as he kites behind the little pavilion here, resets his shade, and just look at how much bulk he has on this build, just tanking these guys out, doing his best to try to turn and get some offensive pressure, but he has to focus a lot on staying alive here as he's just taking a lot of damage. Even the snipers on the side pulling them with the chains. Oh my gosh, zDan just taking so much abuse from this group, but doing a fantastic job tanking it out and just dealing with all of this incoming CC, etc. He tries to go for a little bit more pressure on the group, but yet again, he's forced just onto the defensive side of things. Goes for a fantastic shade teleport, sets the shade down yet again, and buying himself a little bit of time with the group, opening on these three players here, but zDan yet again taking so much damage from the enemy snipers, the enemy burst. There we see that massive tether, and he quickly finishes off a player with his Swallow Soul, and he's going to continue to apply pressure. This guy wants to go for the res. No, man, zDan's quickly bashing that res and continuing to stay on top of the group here. He has proved to these guys that he can tank them out. He continues to apply pressure, takes the stun, but prevents the res yet again, doing a great job making sure to keep these bodies down and zDan is now starting to put this group a little bit on the back foot. This guy wants to res now. zDan gets the bash. He's off balance. He goes for the damage on the player there. zDan wants to finish him off, but we see the enemy Nova come down and a lot of damage from the enemy players, but zDan continuing to apply pressure. There we see another tether. Fantastic stun on the group. So much healing power from the tether as well, and zDan's just continuing to tank out these yellow, taking the chains yet again. Oh my gosh, that chain stun XP1 is so hard to deal with, and zDan's doing a fantastic job doing it. He gets the fantastic fear, a massive spike on that player with the spectral bow. However, he goes into stealth, and zDan yet again just tanking this group out. He moves on to the next target. The guy with the bow pulling him with the chains. zDan's putting a lot of pressure into him, just continuing to keep his defense up as well. I love how he plays this build. He keeps the offensive pressure up and continues to defend himself, weaving those light attacks with his shields as well. And zDan just puts work into this guy with the resto staff. There we see the tether, the massive AoE stun. He takes the first player down with the spectral bow, and now he's going to continue to apply pressure to these guys, still pulling them with the chain. Oh my gosh, zDan just putting a lot of damage into this guy, has the sniper on his tail as well, finishing that player off, and now he's going to put his attention on this sniper here, and oh no, he doesn't. This guy wants to go for the res. zDan just putting pressure right away. The other player actually releases and cannot get res, and zDan's going to turn right onto the sniper here. The sniper takes a nasty fear. zDan hits him with the tether, so he cannot roll the attack. And there we see, I think, another yellow player come in on the rock here, and zDan's just wanting to kill this Nightblade, just continuing to hunt him down and ignoring the DK that's chaining him around. The Nightblade kites back to the back here, and zDan's just going to turn on him. This player on the rock decides now he's going to engage after showing up to the fight. zDan gets a great fear off on the Nightblade. Massive spectral bow, bringing that guy down as well. The player on the rock just feeding him hard-casted frags. zDan hits him with the dots, goes for the elemental weakness, and then the tether spike again for the damage and the stun. This player just barely hanging on, and zDan's going to continue to apply pressure to him here as he heals himself. And interesting build from this Sork to have low health healing power like this, but zDan's just continuing to attack him. A little bit of a skip there, and there we see he hits him with the fear into the finish. What a fantastic fight, my man. So I want to say a huge shout out to everyone who sent in the clips this week. You guys were awesome, absolutely fantastic fights. If you guys are interested in checking out any of these ESO channels, I've got links to everybody featured in today's episode below, so go and check those channels out. Show that love, you guys. Support our ESO community. And of course, for our bonus video today, we have got Hauptsache on his Magicka Warden, just playing the trolliest heal tank build that I've ever seen on a Magden. So I hope you guys enjoy watching a little bit of this footage. If you guys are interested in sending in your clips for the top 5 or interested in sending in a build to be featured on the channel, you can of course send that to KristoferESO@hotmail.com. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit that like button. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. We've got builds, top 5s, I've got my own commentaries, and we have of course the community builds as well. So check out all the ESO content on the channel. If you guys are interested in watching some of my gameplay live or just hanging out and chatting, you can of course check out my Twitch channel. There's a link in the description below. And finally, we are sponsored by What the Fast, a local Canadian company. They give me better ping to my favorite games like ESO. So if you guys get bad ping to your favorite games, especially if you guys are Australian or anywhere in that hemisphere, this is a great service that can help you out. It is 100% free to try for the first 14 days via the link below. So if you guys want to give it a shot, no harm, no foul. You don't even need a credit card to sign up for it. So thank you guys again so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for sending those clips in. Like I said, fantastic stuff yet again this week. I'm looking forward to see what you guys will send in next week, and I hope you guys are too. I will see y'all next time. Have a fantastic night, everyone.